Hello people, welcome back to Aurora IAS YouTube channel Ecology Environment Lecture Series. So you can always follow us on Telegram channel Aurora IAS. Visit our website for all the latest website materials as well as updates at www.auroraIAS.com. So in this session, we'll begin with the discussion on environmental pollution, pollutant classification, causes, pollutants that are occurring in the environment, smog and fog formation, fly ash, and some of the government initiatives. So the environmental pollution. What is a pollution? Pollution is nothing but when you add or excessive addition of certain materials for the physical environment like water, air, and land that will make life less unfit. That is why the pollution is a very important factor. It's a material factor that is causing an adverse effect on the natural quality of the component of the environment. And according to the classification, there are different types of pollutants in the atmosphere, like depending upon the source, there is some primary as well as a secondary, where the primary is like from direct emission from the atmosphere, like into the atmosphere from the vehicle exhaust, that is like direct. Secondary is after emission exhaust, when these emittents will combine with the oxygen nearby will try to form ozone and nitrogen oxides. And then a mode of release, indoor and outdoor, where indoor is like cooking, smoking, and air conditioning. Outdoor activities like transportation, industrial processes. And then particulate matter like aerosols, as well as aerosols which is like solid and smoke involved in it, as well as in gaseous form like the vapor form like ozone, uh, volatile compounds. All these comes under the gaseous compounds. So this is a basic classification of air pollutants. Let's see some of the major air pollutants and the sources and the characteristics. First, we begin with the carbon monoxide. It's a colorless, odorless gas that is produced by incomplete burning of the carbon-based fuels like diesel, wood, or any petrol. It will try to be produced from the combustion of natural and synthetic products like the cigarettes, and it will have a lot of impact on lowering the oxygen level. That will have an important effect on the blood flow system. Then comes the carbon dioxide. Now carbon dioxide is another principal greenhouse gas that is emitted by the human activities like coal, oil, natural gas, and other processes. Then comes the chlorofluorocarbons. These are gases that are released from the air conditioning systems as well as the refrigeration. When they come in direct contact with the air, the chlorofluorocarbons will try to reduce the ozone layer in the stratosphere level that is impacting us with UV radiation. Then comes the lead portion, lead or air pollutant, which is present in the petrol, diesel, and lead batteries, paints, dye products, that will have a lethal effect on the children's nervous system, digestive problems, and cause cancer too. Ozone is the upper layer atmosphere present gaseous form, where it shields the earth from the harmful UV radiations, and having a pollutant in this ozone layer will affect the ozone itself with highly toxic efforts because of the vehicle and industries emission that will release the ground level ozone, which is very important factor for the development of smog, which is like combining of fog and smoke in the atmosphere, that is causing the major pollution characteristics even in Delhi pollution. So that is one of the other format. And we'll come to the suspended particulate matter, which is the solid particles that form the with the smoke, dust, and vapor, and they remain suspended in with the extended periods. These are finer particles. When breath into the lungs, when we breathe in with it through the lungs, it will damage the respiratory system as a whole. So let's come with the smog. Now smog has been discovered first by the Days Walks in 1905. Smog is nothing but fog and smoke combination. Let's understand how it is formed. Before that, let's see what is actually fog about. See, in what happens is in during the winter nights, and usually when calm light winds are there in the night time. In the night time, the ground surface loses the heat by radiating itself. When the ground surface loses its heat intensely, it becomes cool. That surface here, white color, becomes very cool, and this white color, when it condenses, it forms some small droplets, water droplets, called as fog. So when this fog is combining with the smoke due to pollution in the environment, when this pollution from the surrounding environment mixes with the fog, then fog plus smoke will combine to form smog. That is smog, which is formed by because of the main a vehicle exhaust, nitrogen oxides from the vehicle exhaust, volatile organic compounds like paints, printing inks, petroleum products. When they interact in presence of sunlight, ground ozone is formed. Because of the ground ozone, smog has been the major formation factor and the major cause of Delhi air pollution as well, which is currently in news. That is smog. So understanding the smog, after that we have see, effects of smog is very much evident. Like because of smog, what happens is you will not have good visibility, that harms the environment. You will have some respiratory problems. bronchial diseases. Smog, because of it, ultraviolet radiation reduces increases in fact on the earth's surface, and natural vitamin D is also reducing. And because see, the pollution in the total pollution chapter, the kind of effects of different pollutants on the systems are same itself. Respiratory diseases, acid rain causes skin cancer, so all these are very common, so I'm not discussing those portions here, which is not important. Now let's see the fly ash. Fly ash is nothing but, see, if you see the black color portion, it is produced when in the heat generators where the iron ore is prepared, the actual byproduct which is released after the preparation of the iron and steel and everything in the industry, the leftover portion is called as the ash. This is fly ash. It will generate more when the wind systems also combine with it. It will keep flying here and there. That is why actual disposal of fly ash is very important. In India itself, when power generation through thermal and coal based happens, the fly ash generated is very much huge. And this combines, composed, the composition of the fly ash is about aluminum silicate, silicon dioxide, calcium oxide. So these are the compounds that our fly ash consists of, and it should be collected very well and should be recycled and used in other industries as well. Like, where can we use a fly ash? Fly ash can be used in spite of, like, in place of construction works, making roads, bricks, filler material for the road embankments or the wasteland reclamation, or you can use it for abandoned at the main place of abandoned mines and increase the crop yield also. You can use it because when you mix it with the soil will retain lots of water because of the fly ash. So these are some of the advantages, and that is where we have to use the fly ash, where we have to use a fly ash. So understanding the various pollutants, understanding the fly ash smog phenomena. Now let's quickly get into the air pollution reduction measures, like the control measures. One is in the policy format. Policies in the sense, like, there are different environmental policies or environmental bodies set up by the government. That is a different part of the discussion. But first of all, in this slide, we'll see some preventive measures. Preventive measures, like, you will have to suitably select some kind of a fuel that will have modification in the industrial processes, as well as distancing the industries from the residential area. So that kind of measures are called preventive measures. So now control measures, in that preventive measures can be in more types. Like, one of the first one is how to control the particulate matter. Particulate matter is nothing but the dust particles differentiating on the different sizes, like 2.5 mm or 2.10 mm. So it's a different particulate matter differentiating on the types of the matter size, dust particle size. So first of all, arresters can be used or scrubbers can be used. So what happens is, see here, when you pass on the polluted air here, there is a bottom fraction that will reduce all the pollutants, as well as there is a spray lower which will attract all the dust particles in it, and after that a clean gas is passed out. So this is one of the arrestor and scrubber method. Then you can also use the combustion and adsorption and absorption methods to control the gaseous pollutants, like this is an adsorption method where a kind of a bed material is placed here. When the polluted gas is passed here, the pollutants are absorbed here in the surface, and a free and non-polluted gas is coming out. Absorption is other process where we spray water on the incoming pollution gases, which will come out as a non-polluted gases outside. So these are some of the scientific methodologies. And you have another method also, automobile exhaust you can reduce by using some catalytic converters. If you see this car is releasing out, you often see these things, right? Because the combustion of this car, because like the car manufactured 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the combustion of the engine becomes very slow. Same like your digestive system, as you grow older, your digestion becomes very less. That is why they say that do a lot of exercise to have a lot of motion to your body. That is why the catalytic converters in the engine also should be improved on. Good quality automobile fuels has to be generated, lead free petrol, compressed natural gas, everything has to be controlled in the automobile exhaust, so that the pollution will be reduced. Then comes the policy measures, which I've been telling you before. The control measures are of two different types. One is policy and preventive. Preventive, until now we have seen through absorption and all these methods. Now let us see about the policy measures. First of all, it is the National Clean Air Program. National Clean Air Program has been launched by the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Change, where it is trying to control PM10 and PM2.5 by 20 to 30% by 2024, and the base year would be it will have the base year as 2017. Basing on the 2017, the pollution level has to be reduced to 20 to 30%. So how it will reduce? It will try to create some public awareness, capacity building measures, augmenting air quality network, abating the air pollution, preventing and measuring the control of air pollution, stringent implementation of some laws and methodologies for reducing the pollution. So all this and all is National Clean Air Program. There's another program by the Central Pollution Control Board, that is taking care of the National Air Quality Monitoring Program, where it will try to set up some in cities the boards. If you see, in even in Delhi, you will see big boards which will define the kind of sulfur dioxide percentage in the air, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So that is the ambient air quality measures. So it is based on some few of the pollutants like ozone, lead, carbon monoxide, arsenic, nickel, benzene, ammonia, benzopyrene, and particulate matter. Considering these pollutants, how much the pollution is there, which each of the factors, the boards will be prepared and the cities will be monitored by the Central Pollution Control Board. Then the third and the most important policy making by the government Ministry of Environment Forest is the National Air Quality Index, where pollutants, 8 pollutants, like if you see this PM10, 2.5, NO2, SO2, CO, ozone, ammonia, and lead, these are constantly monitored based on some indices. Like if suppose the index, the kind of pollution level in micrograms is from 1 to 50, then it is a good air standard. If it is 51 to 100, satisfactory. If it is 400 to 500, it is impacting health and it is very severe condition. So now presently in the current affairs news, Delhi has been placed under the severe category. Then this air quality index is helping us to find which category of the pollutant level is occurring in which city. So that is the air quality index. Air quality, after the air quality index, the same way there is a SUFFER system, which is system of quality air and weather forecasting. This is indigenously developed, like it's a different kind of a software kind of a thing, where Indian National Institute of Tropical Meteorology Pune and Indian Meteorological Department has been combinedly giving up some kind of a measures based on some parameters like PM 2.5 to 10, sulfur dioxide, ozone, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide. So it is also monitoring the existing harmful pollutants like benzene, toluene, xylene, and etc. That is SUFFER program. So these 4 programs which I have discussed, you just have to remember the kind of pollutants, the indices, or which body is monitoring it. That's it. That is the most important thing that you have to remember, and the kind of pollutants it will try to monitor also. So you have to just by heart it, because a previous year question has been asked in this scenario. There's a dust storm phenomena also going on, which is the dust pollution, and center has notified, like Environmental Forest Act of 1986 has given some guidelines to arrest this, like to stop the dust pollution. Like you have to have some mitigation plan for all the infrastructure and building occurring. No soil excavation in these places where dust storm usually occur. No loose soil has to be there. You have to sprinkle water. You have to prohibit some grinding and cutting of the open area embankments or building materials. No uncovered vehicles. Dust mitigation methods displayed properly before the public can view it in a better way at the construction site. So these are some of the dust storm management rules that have been mentioned, because in mains answer writing you can use these kind of points and as an extra fodder for making an extra edge of marks. Then comes the Bharat stage norms, which is a very important one. Bharat stage norms are nothing but, see, what happens is the engines that we use in a 2 vehicles or 4 wheelers, what happens is after a point of time they will start stopping to work properly. Howsoever good fuel you might be using, the catalytic converters are very bad at converting the good fuel into least exhaust vehicle emissions. That is why Indian government, based on the Euro norms, see, it has started in 2000 year, where nationwide it has started Indian 2000 at first BS norms, where the emission standards for every pollutant, like every vehicle is determined. Like if it's a 2 wheeler, this much pollution only you have to emit per year or per city or per day or per year, month or week. It will be determined based on the vehicle. So all the 2 wheelers, 3 wheelers, construction equipment vehicles, everything, they will be guided with it. So recently what happens is, till 2010 we have started this Bharat stage 4, and it has been successful in curbing the pollution levels. But we didn't have time of going through the Bharat stage norm 5. That is why what we have done is we have jumped from Bharat stage 4 to Bharat stage 6, which is proposed to be launched in April month of 2020. That is where entire country will start to follow this, and no more BS stage 3 norms or BS stage 4 norms will be applied. Now every vehicle should adhere to the limit of the Bharat stage 6 norm. But what is Bharat stage 6? Actually, see, what happens is the kind of pollutant that a vehicle will give out, like exhaust that comes from the vehicle, should be reduced. Like sulfur also, sulfur from 50 to 10 ppm it has reduced. Like BS4 norms, 50 ppm per parts per million sulfur exhaust is allowed, but now only 10 ppm is allowed from sulfur from the automobiles. Next one is nitrogen oxide. Nitrogen oxide, we have to reduce it to 25 percentage in petrol engines. So these are the two classifications based on which BS6 norms have been designed, and that differentiates between BS4 and BS6. In this concept, there is a one Chaudhary Committee of 2014, which has given some auto fuel vision policy of 2025. He says that we have to phase wise try to implement the BS norms, Bharat stage norms. Like the fourth norm should be 2017, fifth norm will be of 2019, and sixth norm should be 2024. He has also said that we have to start taxing such vehicles which are releasing a lot of exhaust. We have to use some alternative fuels like methanol, ethanol, hydrogen fuel, like Ministry of New and Energy, Renewable Energy, Green Initiatives for Future Transport. It has given some Vision 2020 for hydrogen, using hydrogen as a future fuel. Then ethanol, which is coming from the sugarcane industry, that can be utilized instead of petrol by blending it with petrol. Methanol is another biodegradable substances that can be substituted for some part of the petrol. So these are the other alternative fuels that can be used, which Soumitra Chaudhary Committee in Auto Fuel Vision Policy of 2025 he has mentioned. Now, why BS6 norms? Because we have already seen that lots of scope is there to reduce the emission standards for all the vehicles, because emission is a very important pollutant from the vehicle exhaust that we have to need to curb it, because the impact of vehicle emission pollutant to create smog kind of a phenomena in Delhi was also great. That is why it has been focused on. So the current affairs portion which is in news is that recently an International Center for Automotive Technology has released the certificate for BS6 norms for a two-wheeler segment, which is under the Ministry of Road and Transport Vehicle System, that will test and certify services to the vehicles and components of manufacturers in India as well as abroad. So switching on to a good amount of BS6 norms is very important, because this will start giving some good internal combustion engines. It will have spark ignition engines including motor vehicles. It will try to curb the pollutants like the PM 2.5 60 microgram. PM 2.5 in Delhi is 10 times higher to it. Actually, it's not exceeding 60 microgram is the norm actually in the pollutant category. But now we have more than 600 micrograms in the air. So we need to curb all of these things. But there are some challenges to it. Why people are raising a voice against this? Because for having a catalytic converter to your engines will have a lot of cost to the automakers, because the engine design system has to be changed. Time frame is only 4 years given, which was like previously it was in 2017 that was started before. So till now 2020 until 2030, 4 years time you have given, and you have to change all the vehicles catalytic converters engines. So time frame is very small. Impact on buyers is that buyers will only buy when the vehicle's cost will be under their budget. But because of these issues that we have to increase the catalytic converters, internal combustion engines, because of this the price of the cars might go up, which is why people won't go and buy these cars. Then the automobile industry will have a reduced impact. So the measures and controlling measures or mitigation measures for Delhi air pollution is that some of the strategies is like odd even scheme, taxing the polluting vehicles, Bharat stage 4 norms, which has been first initially started with Delhi itself, and Euro 6 norms like Bharat stage norms also we are starting 6 norm, and controlling the pollution source. All of these are some of the issues. And now let's come and understand briefly about the stubble burning, which is causing a great damage to the pollution levels of almost 25% of the pollution of Delhi pollution is occurring because of stubble burning. What happens is, see, here there is some rice paddy or wheat cultivation that has occurred before, and after they have taken out the seeds and after they have harvested the crop, some of the stubble will be left over here, because the combine harvesting machines cannot cut to still the zero level of the ground. So what these people will do, they need a lot of people to cut down and make the land as normal with sand. Instead of that, what they'll do is they'll just keep put fire to these stubble burning. And when this fire will aggravate, listen, Punjab and Haryana are the most important food basket of the country. There are various other agriculture fields, and such every field gets into fire and all the stubble will be burnt. The surrounding areas will get a lot of smoke, which is why the smoke and fog, when they're combining, they're forming smog that is reducing the visibility, increasing the pollutants in the environment. So this is the concept of stubble burning. So some of the methods that government of India has taken is carbon emission by thermal power plants, under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Clean Air India initiative curbing the air pollution by Indian cities by promoting partnerships. Then there is with the Dutch company, we are starting the Indus Impact project, that is to halt the hazardous burning of paddy stubble by promoting business partnership. And then feedstocks, making materials that would find use in construction and packaging. So these are some of the steps that the government is taking up to curb the air pollution in the environment. And it is also coming up with BS6 norms by April 2020. Then it is banning the petrocoke and furnace oil that is causing lots of vehicle exhaust. It is also encouraging e-rickshaws, metro policy. It has come up with a lot of policies for the encouragement of electric vehicles. Niti Aayog also proposed a 15-point action plan titled Breathe India, under which it has mentioned what kind of measures can we take up to reduce pollution in the environment. So this completes the first session of the environment pollution. The next session will be continue with the water pollution and the other bioremediation methods also. So before I end this session, do think about the personal guidance program by Aroda sir, who is an experienced mentor. He'll provide you everything A to Z, all the material, all the kind of support for the Hindi and English medium students. Do contact us on the below mentioned details. Do think about the program. Until then, Jai Hind.